Hello traders, it's Samurai Trader here. Welcome to this quick training session. It's Monday the 26th of the 10th 2015 and I'm short here on the NQ what are we here, 55 tick, let me get this right, and I'm also short on the ES a 233 tick chart, which we'll have a look at in a moment. So what I want to point out here was just the trend line break here. I'm virtually, you can see over here we're at the low of the day right here, and we've really broken that, so I expect some follow-through. So I'm short 10 contracts, 15 ticks. But there's also something else I wish to show you on the ES. Now we can also see here that we're right at the low of the day. So if we look at the open, we opened over here. I haven't taken any of these. I've just marked up some genuine trades using the fast track setups. We can see here that we had a beautiful double bottom. We've got here a bounce off the 200, and what we have here now is 34 bounces. So I got in here, I got in a little late. Now one of the compelling reasons I got in, you can see here a trend line, a horizontal trend line. We can see here that I've got a definite downtrend. We've been hitting this bottom and testing it continually, so I was willing to short the market here. My stop is one tick above the pivot line, you may notice here. So I've got a fairly wide stop. It's an 8 tick stop in this particular case, because I really believe in being above the pivot in this particular case. But what I wanted to point out was it's really important, I believe, to draw your support and resistance lines, because we've been really stalling at this point here for probably an hour now. But if we go across here, we can see, and you can see it on your trading platform as well, that we're at the low of the day. So we're sort of testing this low. I believe it's going to punch through. Look at my 34s in a good strong downtrend. It is on the NASDAQ and the YM as well. So I just think it's going to take some time and we'll see it break down. So I'll put this on hold and we'll come back to this. But otherwise, you've got a T1, a T2 right here. You've got a T1 formation. You've got a 34 bounce, 34 bounce, 34 bounces, a 200 bounce. Up here you had a T20, a T20, up there a T20. So the trades firing off left, right and center. So there are some great trading opportunities for the part-time trader. So traders, a good half an hour has now passed and we're still bouncing around. We can see my target down here. My stop is way up here. It's now time to bring my stop down. So where are we? Now I'm going to bring my stop down just above that little swing high that we've got here. So we can see that little swing high, so we'll come down just above there, maybe a little more. So we'll just sit there right now. So you can see here we've actually had another 34 EMA bounce. So you had a T2 here as well. You've got a 34 bounce. I expect it to follow through. Let's have a look at the ES. So you can see here the ES really bounced back against me at one stage here. We were, I think, around here when I was doing the recording. We bounced up, we've gone up, we've bounced off the pivot, and we're still hovering at the low of the day. As I mentioned, I expect to punch through and we'll go down to the S1. So that is 9 ticks, by the way, on 10 contracts. So we'll just have to sit back and wait, and now's the time to tighten my stop. Let's see, we'll just come down above this swing high, so we'll sit above there, which is a 750 risk for an 1125 gain. So we'll just sit back and wait. So traders, we can see here we've come down. I've been filled on a number of my contracts. We've come down and touched. So I've still got still short 7 contracts. So what I'm now going to do is go to break even, as I'm not going to be willing to give anything back, because also where I am now, it's 4:07 p.m. At 5 p.m. we have the pre-market open in London, which we can see some volatility. So let me see here. Am I going to just looking at the ES trades bouncing around? So worst case scenario, it'll stop me out with a few $100 profit, so we'll just hang in there. The ES, by the way, we've still got we're halfway there on the target, so I'll keep you updated. Actually, traders, what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring my target down even lower. The reason being, I'm getting some divergence forming here on my platinum, and I'm not willing to give too much back today. It is Sunday evening. The market could do anything, so if it stops me out, it stops me out, but at least I get stopped out with still a half decent profit. And my ES is bounding up, so we'll just wait. Not a whole lot to say. Looks like we're bouncing back up there. So you'll see this quite often, traders, where for the new traders may not be aware of this, sometimes you'll go down or you'll be doing your back testing and you'll see you've touched a target, and in your testing you'll assume you've been fully filled or you're out. But quite often in a slow market, you'll come down, you might have to test there 2 or 3 times. But I have a rule that when I've tested once or twice, I'll definitely go to break even, if not better. And you can see here I've got a couple of candles that have come down and tested that spot. Okay, so this is the ES. So the ES, I'm still 2 ticks in the money, now 3 ticks with that. I don't have any divergence on my platinum here at this stage, so I expect we'll roll over. That black line, as a reminder, you can see there was the low of the day, so I might just move that for now. We don't need that any longer, but you can just see
Strategy
how that
alert.
can offer very, very strong support.
Order filled.
Okay, so that was my NQ order just being filled. So what we can see here is very good chance we'll come up and bounce off the 89 now, and we can see we've got a T2 forming. So what I will do, if this ticks down 2 or 3 ticks, I'll exit this trade once again, just being very mindful that I've been in this trade for a few hours now, and I always say, as a day trader, time is not on your side. You like to see momentum, you like to see price action move in your direction. So traders, I've ordered up. I'm just going to take a couple of ticks profit on this one, on the 10 contracts. We can see I've popped down below
Order
the pivot,
filled.
so you can see my orders filled there. We still walked away with a few $100 net after brokerage. It may, as I mentioned, this may form into a T2, which I expect it will. I've been in that trade there for wow, a good couple of hours, so I was pretty patient with it, but it was time for me to exit. And also I'm just aware of time of day. So in a moment I'm going to go through and we're going to do a recap on the trades of the day, what we've had happen in today's market. So traders, let me now give a quick recap of today's trade in action. So it's Sunday evening for my colleagues in the USA, leading into very early Monday morning. And of course Monday afternoon leading into the London session down under here in Australia. So my prime trading time is of an evening for London session. I love trading the Euro Stoxx 50 and also the Nasdaq, and of course the ES, but the NQ and the Euro Stoxx 50 are my main markets from about 5 p.m. my time, in about half an hour to an hour. And as you know, my target here is $400 a day per contract. Now what we are going to do is look at the charts to do a quick recap, to look at the trades I've taken today. I don't normally fire that many trades off during Australia in Australia during the day. I usually wait for the evening just because of your volume. You get a lot more volume. Of course, it really peaks up leading into the New York session. Now, as always, I need to mention
Strategy
risk
alert.
And sorry, I'm just getting another entry alert, and lo and behold, that 233 tick ES is it's turning into a T2 as I mentioned, but I'm still quite happy. We've locked in a nice profit on the ES and the NQ, which we're about to have a look at. I love what Mark Douglas says here. The best traders have developed an edge, and more importantly, they trust their edge. Traders, if you are a new trader joining me for the first time, or if you're an experienced trader, keep statistics. Once again, if you know what your statistics are, what your probabilities are, it just gives you so much more confidence, and it allows you to back yourself so much more when you do trade. And overall, it's just a better way of trading. But unfortunately, too many people fail to recognize that trading is a business. I work on my business every day. I work on myself every day when it comes to trading. Here is one of my affirmations that I have in the front of my trading book where I have all my charts and my trading rules. Let me read it out before we move to the charts. I believe and think in terms of probabilities, and I know that by taking every trade that qualifies and by following my trading rules, the statistics are on my side. I've stopped searching for the Holy Grail. I have discovered it, and the Holy Grail is the control of my emotions. My mantra is I'm a relaxed, disciplined, focused professional day trader, and I flawlessly execute my trades. So I flawlessly execute my trades according to my rules. Now, if we now consider some of the rules of today, time is not on my side, and as a day trader, unless your setup gives you some reason to be waiting. But as a day trader, as a scalper, I generally want to be in and out, and it's very unusual. I'll let a trade sit there for a couple of hours. Today I did it because the market I know is going to be slow, but it also makes me feel uncomfortable because so many things can happen over a period of time. Now let's go and have a look at this is the NQ55 tick chart. So let's just go and have a look at this morning's action from the time the market opened. We can see here we had up here a T20 fell away, get a little bit of divergence. If I remember correctly, that may have been a T89. You had a T20 again. Over here had a T20, lovely pivot bounce with a double top. Now remember, if you want to increase the chances of a pivot bounce, if you've got divergence and you've got a T1 formation like this, okay, take every one. All right, your probabilities are through the roof on these turning into great trades, which is exactly what happened. We can see down here we then had a T2. It's actually a cross between a T2 and a T10. Okay, now I was late in and I didn't get in till here, and I jumped in on the break, and you can see here that drawing my trend line horizontally, you can see I'm in a downtrend with my upper trend line here, and as I believe we would have a break, which is exactly what happened. However, it was very, very slow, and it drew out over a period of a few hours. It come down, it touched my target of 15 ticks, so I was only filled there on if I remember correctly, looking at the thing here on three contracts. It started to bounce up. I decided to lock it in, and lo and behold, I would have been filled. This is Murphy's Law. This is live, traders. This is live. You can see here I would have picked it up. However, I'm still $552 up, which isn't bad. Towards this is 12% towards my daily target, and my evenings my main session. Now here, if you look at your the trades, we had a pivot bounce. You also had a T1, you had a T2, you've also got a 34 bounce, so there's just some great trading opportunities during the day. So let's have a look at the ES chart. So here we've got the ES. Let's go to the open. Now what we're looking at here, traders, is a 233 volume or share bar chart. On TradeStation I call it a share bar, or it's a volume chart. We can see once again some great little divergence trades here. T20, T20, look at these T20s. They find, and I tend to find traders, they do really well in the after hours market, your T20s. Now you've got a classic 200 bounce. Now this is where it gets interesting. Let me explain this. We had a T2 set up here, but notice the angulation away from our 34, and you're right up against here, you're right up there against your 200. And what happens generally? Look at this 200 traveling down. A bounce, you turn into a 200 bounce. Be very, very cautious in trading about against your 200 like this. And then we had a T20, and then look at these 34 bounces. Up here you had 34 bounces, you got 34 bounces here, and we traveled down. You can see where I shorted. I was in late, and I got out here, and I was after 9 ticks per contract, which is $112.50. and you can see here I got out only picking up a couple of ticks. We come down, picked up, and what did I say about that T2? Here it is. Here it's turned into that T2 I said it would turn into. And it also is a 34 bounce, but you're right around this pivot. And as I mentioned, the London pre-market opens up in 29 minutes, so it's an area to be really cautious of. But I would have picked up if I'd have stayed in. However, I decided to get out, because talking about our trading rules, one of my rules is that time is not on my side. Here I've still locked in a very healthy profit, 12% of my daily target, and these were what I call bonus trades. Oh, by the way, here's your classic 89 bounce. And traders, that probably gives you a good recap. But once again, it really comes down to, with the Day Traders Fast Track program, you're learning the world's best day trading strategies. They're 95% mechanical. What's that other 5%? Well, the 5% is, do I have any red flag news? Things like time is not on your side. The day traders, for most of us, that is, most of us, for a day trader, consolidation or a choppy market or a sideways market is what kills you. So being able to learn to visually recognize a choppy market. So for $197, you now get over 20 hours of tuition. You get 3 weekly video updates, and I give you full email support. Traders, if you're serious about trading, invest in your future. Thank you, traders, and look forward to you watching my next video. And of course, drop me an email, visit my website, and naturally purchase my program so I can keep up the updates that I provide you all. Thank you.